This station is activating the Houston area emergency alert system.
Why did it have to be my daughter?
What?
Sam. Whoa. Wait. Sam and I met 2 decades ago. Junior year of college. Surprised you found a ride in this weather.
Huh?
I mean, one would think that by now, 2030, the 4th decade of the 3rd millennium post the death of Christ, we would have solved the seasonal issue of floods, or at least have agreed on some drills like we do for the school children for the occasional structural fire. But no, every deluge comes at us as it did in the time of Noah.
What the hell are you talking about?
Nothing. And get your feet off the table.
Nice stack.
And my problem with working from home is not the clutter of last year's unsigned paperwork, or the stacks of ungraded homework. My problem was that when I was home in my study, I can only think of one thing. The project. This thing that linchpinned my anxiety and rotated my insides like a torture wheel. And even away from the impending rain of doom overhead.
What's cooking?
Just, nothing. And in place of going to my wife's parents' house in Dallas or anywhere else, my wife and I stayed in Houston. And I was nearly finished writing the last few pages of this stupid, goddamn piece of shit novel. Right before the start of the semester. It was now or never.
Nice board job you did on the front. Did you nab the plywood from a construction site?
I borrowed it.
You must have heard I was coming. Could have called. I would have sawed and scratched for you, then the front door wouldn't be all barricaded.
I thought I would keep the riffraff out.
Still, I would have done a better job.
Hardly.
Since when do you say hardly?
Since you missed the funeral.
I remember calling, but you didn't answer.
I was in class, remember? You want a drink?
I brought a case, remember? The brewery I did a shoot for gave me one too many. Aren't you happy to see me?
After 16 years.
How's pee-pee?
That's good.
I'm leaving.
Party animal.
It's not a party. Stop telling people that.
But they are animals. And you look beautiful.
You haven't called me beautiful in a long time.
You are, and I told you today at breakfast.
Exactly. Too long.
Are you sure you have to go to the zoo? You're just a volunteer.
They're waiting for me. Just came from my charger.
Oh. Do you have your pills?
How could I forget? Illegal in the States, but you know I need my dose.
Sam. You look like you just got out of jail.
You look like you just got in.
Well, I got tenure last spring. The summer's been rough. You?
And East died
When?
2 weeks ago. Cancer.
What kind?
Does it matter? Liver.
I'm sorry.
Me too?
For what? For the mess you made?
No. For Valentina.
Valentina. My daughter, she died in this very room. And the book was my attempt to keep on living after losing her. Whenever I remember how I failed to protect my little girl 4 years ago, and then failed to get my wife pregnant again every year thereafter, I can't but fall back into my desk chair and write. But as my eyes fried and my fingers cramped to find the right combinations of words to frame my grief, yet almost always my efforts were doubtful and vague. I suppose I'm not saying what it was that I had to say. And really all I could say is what I wanted to say. But what I wanted to say was never enough. Whenever I might reach a phrase that might set me free, some glimmering, hopeful sentence, I hated it for its weakness. I wanted to be happy. I wanted to live, to have another child. I tried writing that way. I tried living that way. But it hadn't happened that way. And putting untrue things onto a page or into your life only creates ghosts. And the book had failed. It only brought me pain.
Fuck. I miss her.
And Ice was so beautiful. Do you still have that foil?
Which one?
The one you took on the beach in Danang? I mean, Sam was in his final semester of college when he first exhibited his photography in a formal setting. Until then, he had only presented projects in class or one-off pieces at friends' parties. Ooh. But after those parties, folks would use his pictures as dividers between the laundry machines and dryers. You know, if they cared at all. And how's Vietnam? You still living there?
You could say.
So, which of you will be painting my portrait? I have a
Yeah.
flight to Hanoi in 4 hours and I'm late.
Perhaps a photograph.
And who are you?
Call me Sam. I'm a photographer and not a half bad one.
You should read his CV.
I have to go.
It would only take a minute.
All right, let's do the photo. How do I look?
Oh, magnificent. Just like this city. I can't believe you live here.
It's good, I suppose. Good for 3 things. Working, living, and studying.
What more do you need?
Love.
I heard they spent 5 hours discussing art, fashion, and photography on the beach in Vietnam. And then another 5 hours enveloped in one another's bodies, rolling around naked for hours. And all that remains is a gorgeous photo of the youth's late bloom, of Anais on her knees, looking over her shoulder at a rising sun, her black hair wet yet flagging in the breeze, and a Mona Lisa smile. Happy to be alive, but sad it will not last forever, with waves crashing over the soles of her feet.
I have to go. I have a flight to Hanoi. See you in another life.
Look what I have in mind.
Oh, is that what I think it is?
Yes, sir. Hickories and summons. Keep them. I bet you aren't baking as much these days. What, with a camera in everyone's pocket?
Thanks. But with online universities filling into the empty lecture halls around the country, I think you might need the money more than I do.
What if I told you I made this money from an online course I built on the side?
Oh, what's it called? Douche 101?
Funny. It's called Philosophy of Contemporary Photography. And the douchiest part's when we discuss your work. I mean, Sam dedicated himself to the ephemeral and spontaneous flashes to which only foresight and intuition can capture. I mean, Sam had, over his 4 years at university, cast near over 100 models, set across dozens and dozens of locations to produce 50 images, and each a scenic portrait from a chapter of the book of Genesis.
Do you go over my first show?
With a 3-page essay to be turned in no later than Friday. I mean, Sam had, over his 4 years at university, enjoyed it, and it was pretty good. But dealer's choice as to the prompt, although I usually suggest, which photograph do you consider the artist's thesis statement and why? And one student wrote, "This is good." And that one student wrote about Lauren.
I hope you flunked the student.
Just a paper.
I posed for all the villains. Eve, Lot's wife, even Leah. I could have easily posed for Rachel.
Absolutely. Look at her. Bro, the show's a hit. Let's celebrate.
Stop pretending. We know you like the attention. Let's go.
Yeah,
The photos stay together. One person buys everything or no one buys nothing.
but they've already accepted payment on 2/3 of the photographs from various patrons.
But I didn't set those prices.
Bro.
All my photos are already sold out.
Why are you making this about yourself?
Yeah.
Calm down.
Bitch.
Fucking loser.
Whore.
Drunk. That's all you ever saw me as, right? You know what? I don't care. Everything is saved on my computer anyways.
Donyail, this station is activating the Houston area emergency alert system.
Pretty insane. My flight's delayed indefinitely.
Yeah? I guess the repairman didn't fix this side.
Leaking?
Not so bad.
Huh. Hey, remember these?
Is that a maxi pad?
No, it's a mask. From the pandemic.
Oh.
I guess I should wear the jacket more often. You don't organize your books by spine color like everyone else?
Organizing your bookshelf by color just screams I don't read. Aside from signaling a mild form of book racism.
Siddhartha felt his blood heating up. And since in this moment he had to think of his dream again, he bent slightly down to the woman and kissed with his lips the brown nipple of her breast. Looking up, he saw her eyes smiling full of lust, with contracted pupils, begging with desire. Such a good story. Can't believe I used to feel that way.
About?
Lauren, she was the center of my world, like Kamala was for Siddhartha.
That story is not about Kamala. It's about the thirsty girl he meets before Kamala. In a sense, that makes the Lauren connection even better.
I let myself feel it. Those 4 years with Lauren felt almost as long as my 16 with Anais.
And Lauren waited for you, didn't she?
Yeah, but we didn't want to start over. Remember?
Well, you had that dinner where you told her everything that happened to us.
I told her about Anais, but I didn't tell her about us.
Electricity finally went out.
My phone battery is almost dead, but... Can I ask you something?
Anything.
Why don't you want to talk about it?
What in the world do I not want to talk about?
About Snow Beach? About us?
Oh.
I didn't mean to kiss you.
Sam! You're a bad liar.
I know, which is why I can't lie to myself anymore. We weren't ever going to get together, were we?
Us. Together. That shit with the kiss and Saner Beach, whatever. Dude, we were drunk.
I wasn't drunk. I love you.
And I love you too. Look. Alright. It's just, if I were gay, it'd be for you, brother.
Thanks. Again, I'm sorry about your daughter. Maybe I am still broken up about Anais, but I still could have kept thinking about her all the way over you. I'm sorry.
Yeah? This is where I write these days. Her old room.
How old was she?
8. She was 8. The kind of child who doesn't cry when you drop her off on the first day of school. She made friends, and introduced her friends to her other friends. Was the chattiest one of all, like her father, but as pretty as her mother.
Daddy, guess what?
What?
I want to be an explorer.
Really? Who taught you that word?
I am smart too, Dad. I am your daughter.
Oh. Do you get your attitude from me too?
I get everything from you.
Shh. Don't let your mother hear you, or she'll get jealous. That's the last picture of her. 4 years ago. Her last birthday. Bilal just had to give the child a phone.
She needs to be able to communicate with us.
She communicates just fine.
What if she needs us and we're not there?
I will always be there.
She'll be the only one without it.
She's special.
If you don't buy it, I will.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No!
Yes!
I ran out of arguments. We gave her the phone, and the next week we get a call from the school.
We have confiscated your daughter's phone.
What? You can't do that.
She brought it out to recess and she is not supposed to.
My daughter needs to be able to communicate with us.
It's the rules.
Rules. What's rules and for what?
It's against the rules.
They took my phone, Daddy.
I got so mad I bought Valentina a new phone. And the best tablet. The next week we found out why children are not allowed to use their phones at recess. Valentina was posting videos of herself and live streaming during recess. Where were her teachers? It doesn't matter. And one of her followers recognized the playground. He lived across town, but he knew where it was. And he started showing up. But as the investigation showed, he started showing up every day during recess. Before Christmas break, on the night of the 24th, the man pulled up to the carpool lane and tried to pick her up. When the carpool lane monitors asked him who he was, he said he was Juan Sataji. And when they asked for ID, reportedly, he started shouting, yelling that he had dressed her that day in a yellow dress with a yellow bow. They looked at my daughter running around over their shoulder wearing the exact outfit the man had described. And they called her, but when Valentina didn't recognize the car, she said,
"That's not my daddy."
and the man sped away. And the monitors reported the situation to us. We held Valentina home for a week. But then it was winter break. But it was too late.
Minors don't belong online.
That's how we lost her.
And you wrote a book about it?
I tried, but it failed.
You do want another kid, though, right?
I tried, but it failed.
You forgot how to write and do it?
Funny.
I mean, you do want another one.
It's not that easy.
Easier than getting tenure, I bet.
It's not the mechanics I'm talking about.
Hey, is it the theory?
Just shut the fuck up. Let me explain. We are trying.
Uh-huh.
But fertility laws have changed since Brian Hughes. My guy passed the Heartbeat Act, remember?
Like 10 years ago.
9. A year later, Roe v. Wade is overturned.
Again, what's this have to do with your penis?
My semen! And listen, I'm about to get to my point. None of this mattered to Pilar and I because she was already pregnant with Valentina when all this was happening.
2 weeks since meeting her, right?
Right.
I missed my period.
Are you sure it's mine?
I've been with you every day for the past 2 weeks.
But before?
Oh, yeah, you're right. I blew the whole crew one night before we met.
Oh, too bad you can't get pregnant from blowing guys. Well, there's only one thing for us to do. 2, actually. First, we get married, but before that, we need to have sex.
Are you sure you won't change your mind?
Pilar Peña, you are the most beautiful woman I have ever slept with. Where else am I going to find a woman like you? I've traveled the world. I know what I'm talking about.
Are you sure? Are you sure you don't want me just for my body? Because you know beauty fades.
Baby, we are having a baby. That won't fade and hopefully it will outlive us.
What if I die too soon? What if you die? What if the baby dies?
Pilar Peña, you are batshit insane for asking those questions. And who knows? Maybe you're right. We should get to know each other. Maybe hold off on the wedding. But then we got married. You could say it was the Second happiest day of my life. We had Pilar's family off from Argentina had flown in, and 100 people all show up to the last minute invite. And I mean, nobody cared or asked why we were getting married so quickly. And in fact, the toast of the evening was that she had taken so long. Ooh. We were like a little Mercosur party, but in Marfa, Texas.
All she ever wanted was to get married. That's what her father said.
And you were at the wedding.
Barely.
I invited him, but he didn't answer. Exchanged a couple of messages, but, you know, eventually he did tell me that he couldn't come.
Bastard.
He said he had to shoot. I told him to shoot himself if he doesn't come to the wedding.
If your best friend doesn't come to the wedding, then he's not your best friend.
I'll never forgive him. And I'm up at the altar with Bilal, and the priest asks if anyone has any objections.
I object! I mean, I object to there not being a best man.
Whoa! We laughed for days, but really it was nothing but brotherhood at the end of the day. But then Valentina was born. We decided to hold off for a year or two. 4 years go by and I'm so busy I lose track of time. And then one night, Bilal burst in crying.
I think I have a problem.
What kind of problem?
I haven't gotten pregnant yet.
You can't get pregnant on the pill.
But I've been out for 15 months.
You what? Why didn't you tell me?
I wanted to surprise you.
With another baby.
Yes, isn't that what you wanted?
No.
No?
No, yes.
So you don't want another baby?
Of course. It's just, I don't know if we're ready for another.
How long do we have to wait? Valentina is already 4.
Are you guys getting a divorce?
No, baby. It's just that mommy wants another baby,
I'm
but
gonna be a big sister.
So, you have been trying, but something was wrong.
yeah. We decided to get checked out. She went to a gyno and I to a urologist. It took months, Sam. Months to land an appointment. What's wrong with my balls, Doc?
Unfortunately, I cannot tell you what is wrong. The sperm analysis shows poor morphology and abnormal amounts of DNA fragmentation, but you did have high volume, yes, above average.
So, what's the problem?
And that is what I was trying to say. With all this information, I cannot tell you what is wrong or what to do.
Oh.
But wait, here's a prescription for my brand of fertility supplements, and let's retest in half a year. Oh, the second test results are in.
And?
Bad news. Fragmentation is actually worst.
And let me guess, you don't know what to do.
Correct, Professor. Oh, one more thing. You're not getting any younger. I suggest in vitro fertilization.
On our first round, we had 16 eggs retrieved, 14 fertilized, 12 made it to the blastocyst, but only 4 passed the genetic testing, and all 4 miscarried. We waited, and on our second round, the numbers were a little worse. 3 miscarriages. By then, Texas had outlawed abortions, contraceptives, disregarding embryos, and even genetic testing. And we waited, and 20 eggs retrieved. A good sign, but only 7 fertilized. 6 made it to the blastocyst, and it took 2 years. Countless cycles of hormone prep for us to lose all 6. And we stopped trying for a while. And then it happened. We didn't tell anyone the name or the sex of the child, but again, thank God. Or no thanks, but we lost the baby.
What happened?
To quote you, doesn't matter. Hyperactive immune system.
Well, there are other options.
I know. We could adopt, foster, surrogate.
Can a professor afford all that?
No. And neither could a photographer. Anyways, Pilar is on some Mexican supplements now. Illegal in Old Texas.
Probably better quality.
No kidding. And now you're all caught up. Pilar is taking pills. She started veterinary sciences. I'm still writing, teaching, going to therapy. You know how it is. We decided to go natural for a while. We were happy, just the 3 of us, but then we lost Valentina.
Why? How did the motherfucker do it?
He became obsessed. He found where we live and he started parking outside our home. On Christmas Eve, the night of the 24th, when the last of our family guests were leaving, he crawled through our daughter's bedroom window. He chloroformed her, gripped her neck, and snapped it too. He made a Danish out of my daughter, slashed her throat before leaving too, and he tossed a stained blanket over her. And here we are.
In your badly boarded up house.
You're lucky I let you in.
Okay. Tell me the one about the finger.
The joke?
Go on.
If someone has their finger up your butt, then who has the finger up the butt?
Jesus.
No, not Jesus. Who has the finger up the butt?
If someone has their finger up your butt,
Don't be
that's
such a-
awkward.
Just guess who? You both do. You know, for a photographer who has seen half the world, you sure know little about shared experiences.
You should stick to writing philosophy, my friend. Where's your wife?
She's out there.
What?
She's at the zoo. She's a volunteer.
Alone?
I mean, with other volunteers. Why?
If I still had Anais, especially during a time like this, I wouldn't leave her side. I mean, what if we all died today? Do you want the world's last memory of you to be talking to me? About fingers and butts?
I guess I have a few more pages to write.